2011 has been a bittersweet year for me when it comes to cricket. The high point for me as a cricket coach was to be featured as a national community champion. That was brilliant, to be featured in a documentary showing the work that I do as a cricket coach. That was just phenomenal. It certainly did start my 2011. I never dreamt I'd be, for the second time in 2 years, be on television talking about the things that I do and about the cricket and the academies that I'd run. So it was great, and I believe it did inspire a lot of people. And after that, cricket was okay. The season wasn't great. We didn't have the greatest weather, so that interrupted a lot of the cricket we played. However, there were some successes. I mean, at Little Marlow Cricket Club, which I was head coach of and had been head coach of for over 4 seasons, there was lots of progress made. Players now met that when I started coaching had just come to the club as youth players, now representing at first team level. One of the boys had been coaching, playing county cricket, and now has gone on to be an established county player, which is very good. So now when I started at Little Marlow, we had next to nothing in terms of youth, and over the 4 years we've built gradually, from being whipping dogs and getting beaten by everyone in the league, and getting bowled out for scores like 16 and 20 runs, to now in the last 2 seasons holding our own and now beating the top teams in the area well consistently. So no longer is it a fluke to be a top team. We are now challenging, and it's fantastic to know. So it's 4 or 5 years, it's fantastic. But for me, I had to sadly say goodbye in 2011. Little Marlow has been a great club for me and my development as a coach, but there comes a time for us all when we need to know when it's time to move on. I felt that I'd achieved what I wanted to achieve at the club, which was to get a youth section together, which was to feed the young players into the adult section. That's been done, that's been achieved, and through it a lot of guys have gone and played district cricket. I've been able to set up different academies from it. The club have been very supportive, and the staff there have been superb. But you know, to be motivated to go and do another year doing the same old things, for me, I couldn't do it. I needed to challenge myself even more. So sadly I had to say goodbye. Also I was going off to do some work in America, so that also had an effect on things. But you know, I'd been to Australia before and come back and done coaching, but I kind of felt that I'd achieved everything I wanted to achieve. So I gave up the role as head coach. I continued coaching two of the boys I'd been coaching for the last 2 years. One was rated as one of the best bowlers of the year at their district awards, which was good, over in Kent, and the other lad's the captain for one of the local clubs. He's doing very well as well. Sadly, with this as well, in coaching, despite everybody wanting to play the game and everybody wanting to be the best they can be, there are characters that make my life as a coach difficult. And some would argue and say, well, it's your job as a coach to overcome those problems. Yes, it is my job as a coach to overcome those problems, but not when those problems are down to individuals' attitude. My job is to solve the problems that a player may have technically or even mentally, how they approach the game. When they are just rude, they always have an answer to what you have to say. They know better than you do. And then when you ask them to do something and they can't show what you want them to do, but yet they're still failing in that area, that's difficult, especially when that player has got so much talent and ability. There's nothing more frustrating than doing that as a coach. And I'm probably not the only coach that says it. There's probably loads of coaches that feel the same way. And through the 5 years of being a cricket coach, you know, I've come across some right characters coaching, and the know-it-alls, talk a lot, say a lot of things. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. They go out, they get bowled out for nothing, they get 10 runs, they come back. Did you see that shot I scored 4 runs with? And they're happy with that. and they set themselves those standards. And for me as a coach, I sort of frown upon that. I mean, if you're a number 11 batsman and you hit 4 runs, but you're mainly a bowler, predominantly a strike bowler for your side and taking wickets, and you score a few runs, great. But if you're a top 4 batsman and you're bragging about scoring 10 and 15 runs, for me it's not something that I would encourage my players to do. So with that said, here's 2012, a few hours away, and I'm not doing any coaching at the moment. So what would I like to do in 2012? Well, I have unfinished business in terms of travelling. My American journey was okay. There's a lot more work I love to do in America. I still want to go to India, and I certainly want to go to Africa and do work. The other, I don't know, a lot of false promises, people saying they were going to do this and going to do that, and never quite came to fruition in 2011. But I think I'm wiser and stronger and better for it for 2012. So definitely a trip to Africa or India will happen. Even if I have to put my hand in my back pocket for it to happen, it will happen. I do want to do that. I'm looking forward to doing it in 2012. It's something I want to do, to be able to coach in the community and do that. That experience, just when I coached in Australia, it was brilliant, because it took my coaching ability and having to coach in another country to see how good a coach I was, what I could do as a coach. And I surprised myself. We won 1 day and 2 day titles, and obviously the format's very different. The wickets are bouncier, lots of lift, faster. The ball nips around quite a bit more. It's very different in Australia, very, very different. But all a great experience, and I found that my coaching was far much more accepted or appreciated in Australia than it really is in England. I think I coach with a far more aggressive approach. For example, if you're a batsman and you're in the top 4, I want to see you, top 6, I want to see you scoring runs. If you're on top of the order, I want to see you seeing off the new ball, and then after that taking control and batting right through to the end. If you're a middle order batsman, 4 and 5, I want to see you accelerating in the innings. And if you're an all-rounder, I want to see you scoring 50s and taking wickets. These are the things. If you're a keeper, then you should be batting pretty decently. And if you're a strike bowler, for me, if you're a strike bowler, the 2 things I want to see you be able to bowl, I want to be able to see you bowl a nasty fast bouncer, and I want to see you be able to bowl a Yorker. Now, to me, if you can't bowl a bouncer that's going to put the batsman in trouble, and you can't bowl a Yorker that's going to, break a batsman's toe, then you should be calling yourself a fast bowler. And for me, it is what it is. I like to see people play, with some passion and some aggression. One of the other pet peeves for me, or things that I've really grates at me, is when a player is watching a fast bowler or a bowler going in to bowl, and they're sitting there with their mates, and before they've even gone onto the pitch, they're talking about, he's a fast bowler, he bowls quick, look how quick he bowls, and they forget about all the months they spent in the winter in the nets training to become better players. What's the point? What's the point of turning up to training if the first thing you're going to talk about when you're out in a game is to discuss about how good somebody else is? There's just no point. Why train? Why bother training? Why bother turning up? Somebody asked me a question earlier about bowling, and I was taught this a long time ago. If you're going to bowl, focus on the stump you bowl at. Have your 3 colours. So your 3 stumps could be red for off stump, blue for middle stump, and green for leg stump. And you can visualise the colour blue or visualise the colour green, and then when you're training in the nets or you're doing your bowling practice targeting that. Don't just practice bowling just outside off stump. Practice varying your bowling, faster balls, slower balls, Yorkers, but don't do that in a game if you've not been doing it in training. What makes you think it's going to work in a game when you've not been practicing it? It's silly. So practice it in your nets, practice it, use the winter to really look and be honest at your game. Be honest at your game, be honest at your strengths and your weaknesses. And work at be good at wanting to work at your weaknesses, So it's so important. So regards to my plans for 2012, I really don't have any at the moment. I definitely want to be involved with cricket in 2012. In what capacity, I'm not sure yet. I know what I don't want to be involved with in 2012. I don't want to be doing the same old things I was doing in 2011. And when I say that, I mean I don't want to be coaching people that are not interested in being coached, but rather want to spend the time arguing with me. Don't want to be doing that, and I really blame myself for that. And you know, a lot of people want to see their success. A lot of people say, "Oh, you're a good coach. You've achieved this. You've achieved that. You've achieved this." Okay, fine. So you want me to come to your club and help you out? I'll help you at your club. You go in there, you start doing things you're doing. People can see success, but then they stop seeing success and they want to stop that. I never understood it. Don't understand it. Never have. You know, and so of course, if I join a club in 2012, it will have to be. It would be a club that I would be really scrutinising before I joined it. So, in terms of coaching, if I'm going to coach again, it'll be probably the one thing I'd like to do is coach an adult side. I think that'd be something in England. I did it in Australia, had great success with it, picked up 1-day title, a 2-day title with it in Australia. So a title challenge would be something I'd be interested in England with a team. So that would be something I'd like to do. Continue blogging, continue doing video blogs like this a bit more for 2012, and see what coaching opportunities are about. I've also released an ebook called Becoming a Champion on and off the field. The ebook is really talks about the motivation behind being a cricketer, or why you'd want to be a cricketer, and on top of that, just tips on, you know, common sense, things that we sometimes we forget when we're under pressure. So the ebook really is a motivational short book aimed at for young people in terms of you know, primary, secondary school kids, I'd say, and for coaches, it's very good for coaches as well. If they want to talk to kids, and if they're having problems with certain kids, they can use this. It's more like a troubleshooter and a motivational tool. So I think it works at about £5 in English money and $8.95 in American dollars. So yeah, I'll put the link at the bottom of the page. So yeah, so plans for 2012, not really anything as much for cricket yet, but I'm sure by the end of January, early February, something will happen, something will come up, as it always does, and I'll be involved with something. So that's me for 2012. That's the plans for 2012. Staying positive and looking to do even more than I've done in 2011. See you soon. Bye bye.